Okay. Gbogbo wa pé a tún káàárọ̀ àwọn ọmọ aládé ṣe dáadáa ni mo bá gbogbo wa a ṣe mọ́nítọ̀ ẹni tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ní ìlú Kwara State, and also we are live on the Koikimedia, so we are streaming gbogbo wa pé ṣe láfíà kó wa pa káàárọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Very good morning, and I welcome us as we are monitoring Happy New Week. And let us say good morning and welcome once again. I stream lórí our backup channel, which Timo monitor pẹ̀lú àwọn case tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ between Tani Olohun ní ìlú Ìlọrin, and we are also live here as well. So it's a very beautiful week to start with. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa káàkiri, and welcome once again to the live transmission to Onlonibi by now. Yoruba Nation campaign like Bedani, and we will not be distracted, and we will neither be pulled back. We have only one campaign, and that campaign is a quest for Yoruba Nation. That is a right, and that right will be respected by everyone, regardless of their views or their takes. Diplomacy, negotiation, campaign, and awareness is going to be our campaign, which we have said continuously, and we are not backing down on that. Many people do not know the reason why we want Yoruba Nation, but we are trying as much as possible to explain to them so that while they need a better understanding and a better background. It might be new, there might be some noise filtering at the back, whether one, yes, so and I have to keep myself a little bit warm, a little bit, because when I should there. So bí mo ti ṣe kí bàbá wa Alano, Professor Adebanji Akintoye, the leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination Group. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo kí olóyè Dr. Sunday Adeyemo tí gbogbo wa mọ̀ sí Sunday Igboho Òòṣà. Bí mo ti ṣe ń kí Ìgbòho náà ni mo ń kí àwọn tó jẹ́ Yoruba Nation supporter nílé àti lóko, láwọn tó faramọ́ àtàwọn tó ní no àfẹ́ Yoruba Nation, Nàìjíríà la fẹ́. Kò yẹra wa náà la ṣe ń sọ pé a fẹ́ Nàìjíríà. Tó bá yẹra wa délẹ̀, ẹ decide bí ẹ sì fẹ́ Nàìjíríà or not. Wọ́n ń force èèyàn láti ṣe tí kò bá fẹ́ ṣe. So bí a ti ṣe ń bá ìrìn àjò wa lọ, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mò ń dúpẹ́ fún àwọn tíìmù àti wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́ round the clock, ìyẹn Koikimedia team tí wọ́n ń bẹ nílé àti tó ń bẹ ní ẹ̀yìn odi. àwa tí a sọ pé a fẹ́ Yorùbá nation ìgbà kan làwa náà ti nífẹ̀ẹ́ Nàìjíríà rí tí a dẹ̀ nífẹ̀ẹ́ gan tó pọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ gbogbo tí Nàìjíríà dẹ̀ ní ká ṣe la bá Nàìjíríà participate but unfortunately Nàìjíríà fúnra rẹ̀ kò bá wa participate láti jẹ́ kí life wa kó make a better headway, and that is the reason why some of us have now asked the question, and those questions tí à ń béèrè ó ń difficult fáwọn tó jẹ́ adarí wa láti dá wa lóhùn, especially àwọn politicians ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. They are finding it very difficult. They can't answer the questions. Kí ló ń pè ní Nàìjíríà? Ta ni Nàìjíríà? I mean, it is easy for us to say we were colonized and we should just work with that and forget about any other thing. But in fairness, the slavery during the colonial time, òun ló set wa back síbi tí ìrànwá délé ní tí a fi lè lọ sílẹ̀ síwájú àti get stuck. So ó wá ti di pé we are all struggling one way or the other to survive as people. And the reality is, ṣé irú nǹkan báyìí lè continue? Àti pé tó bá continue, for how long ló máa fi continue? Nítorí pé tẹ́ bá ní ká dúró sínú Nàìjíríà fún ìdí kan àbí ìdí kejì, ṣé Nàìjíríà yẹn ṣé fún àǹfààní tèmi àbí tiẹ̀? Some might say it takes a while to build a country. Oh yes, it takes a while. That is a country that is ready to be built. The foundation of Nigeria was lies. Ìpìlẹ̀ Nigeria irọ́ ló bá dé. Gbogbo tí wọ́n fi dá Nigeria sílẹ̀ is a complete bogus lies. Lies upon lies upon lies. Bí Lai Mohammed, ẹ rántí bàbá Lai Mohammed, the former information minister Nigeria. Ẹ rántí pé bàbá yẹn ó parọ́ tó kù gan lè dìde. Òun ló máa jáde ló máa sọ fáwọn European country, àwọn West, àwọn international country pé Nigeria secure, whereas wọ́n bí dákó lọ káàkiri òun fúnra rẹ̀ kó má kó security tẹ̀léra ẹ̀ lẹ́yìn. But ó easy fún wọn láti sọ fún yín pé Nigeria máa work, but gbogbo wọn mọ̀ pé irọ́ ni. Nigeria ò lè work. The disunity tó ti wà nínú Nigeria ó ti wà tipẹ́, kò ń ṣe léni ló ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀, ó ti wà for a very long time. But ẹ mọ̀ bá pé a tètè rí àlàyé ẹ̀ dáadáa, a tètè rí understanding ẹ̀. But now tí gbogbo wa ti wá ń get a bit of understanding of Nigeria, àwọn kan tí wọ́n sọ pé no, pé ká sì ṣe sùúrù díẹ̀, pé probability pé kí Nigeria ṣiṣẹ́ lọ́jọ́ iwájú ó ṣì wà. Probability pé kí ìfẹ́ wà láàárín àwọn ẹ̀yà wa tó kù tájọ gbé sínú Nigeria tí wọ́n lock together ní 1914 bó ṣì wà. But àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n jẹ́ politicians àtàwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn, àwọn gan mọ̀ pé that probability yẹn every day ló ń wálẹ̀, every day ni chances yẹn ló ń di pé ọmọ kìíní yóò lè work. But ẹ mọ̀ ó difficult. Àbọ̀rọ̀ mọ̀ yé nísìn. Àwọn politicians wọ́n mọ̀ pé Yorùbá nation gangan ni final solution to the menace and the problems tó exist ní tán pè ní the Nigeria of today. But they don't want to accept, nítorí pé wọ́n fi pé àwọn làwọn ń ṣe government on our behalf, our speakers, our deputy governors, our senators, àwọn ni wọ́n represent wa across board. So tẹ́ bá sọ fún wọn pé Yorùbá nation la fẹ́, àwọn ní no, pé Yorùbá nation yẹn kọ́ ni solution nísìn. Solution tó wà nísìn ni pé ká wá bá ṣe fẹ́ fix Nigeria kí development lè wà. Oh yes, kò sẹ́ a lè sọ pé a fẹ́ Yorùbá nation ká wá nítorí pé wọ́n ń ṣèjọba lọ́wọ́ nísìn ká wá ní kó má fún wa ní development. responsibility the present government, àwọn tó ń darí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá lénìí ni pé kó fún wa ní ìtàn pè ní the government that works. But in reality, this government that we are asking to support Yoruba nation, àwọn máa sọ fún wa pé ó máa take time kí Nàìjíríà tó wà fixable. But the federal character tó ń lò ní Nàìjíríà lénìí tí a ti ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àlàyé ẹ̀ kò ń ṣe torí Hausa Fulani la ṣe ń sọ pé a fẹ́ Yoruba nation. I don't think some of you understand even the reason why we want Yoruba nation. We want Yoruba nation because we want to have our own independent language. We want to have our own independent system that works for me, that works for my people, and that is going to work for as many of us after we have lived this beautiful world. Tabadagba, Tabadogbo. We want to be known with our own identity. Our real identity is not Nigeria. Our real identity is Yoruba. We are Yoruba first before Nigeria. The British knows that. The European countries know that. Every single one of them knows that, but they are finding it very difficult to accept exactly what we are saying. But should we now say, nítorí pé a fẹ́ jẹ́ kí àwọn ìkan bínú, a fẹ́ jẹ́ káwọn kan wà upset, and for that reason, we must remain into Nigeria. Africa ò ní develop, kò dẹ̀ ní lọ síwájú as long as Yorùbá bá ṣì wà nínú Nigeria. Even fáwọn tí wọ́n sọ pé Africanism and them àwọn kan, that's why they always talk pé, you know, let's do this Africanism, ká jẹ́ Africans. But àwa Yorùbá gangan ni wọ́n pè ní Africa anyway, because àwa gangan ni the biggest backbone of Africa. Tabanika lọ wo history. And this is the reason why our own campaign would not stop and our quest will continue. It is now entirely up to the government to come and sit with us. Remember, I'm behind the scene on my screen. That's why you cannot see me. I'm coming back in my camera in a minute. But many of our people lack the understanding. Àwọn fẹ́ fi Nigeria fi make owó, wọ́n fẹ́ fi Nigeria fi gòkè sókè. But in the long run, gbogbo yẹn is just a temporary measure, because kò sí bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe lè ṣe títí ọmọ Igbo ò lè fẹ́ràn Yorùbá, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Yorùbá ò lè fẹ́ràn Igbo. So why then are we all trying to force ourselves to stay together when we can go our separate ways? Kolukaluku lọ tiẹ̀, and we can still be neighbors and we can still be good friends. Why should we force people that cannot live together, that have different mindset táwa ní ó yàtọ̀ sí táwọn Haúsá ní àtàwọn Igbo? We want development. We want to keep the brand tó fi ń pè ní Yorùbá. Mo ń wo university kan ní America, àwọn náà ní wọ́n ti ń ṣe course tó jẹ́ Yorùbá. Last week la gbọ́ pé àwọn bíi motor vehicle Maryland, wọ́n ní wọ́n máa fi Yorùbá ṣe part of their language, láti fi ṣe kí ẹni tó gbé ní state yẹn tó bá yẹ pé Yorùbá ló fẹ́ fi kọ́ mọ́tò ó wà acceptable. So why tó wá jẹ́ pàwọn àtàjọ́ ọmọ Yorùbá gangan àwọn ò fẹ́ràn kan bẹ́ẹ̀? We still have to continue to advise as many people pé yes, we will have our own government, we will run our own operation, but the present situation in Nigeria is not helping me and you. Why then are we running away from that truth? Is it because expect àwọn tó jẹ́ big people, àwọn industrialist wa, àwọn elite wa, àwọn èèyàn gbòógì ńlá, are you expecting them to be the one tó máa sọ̀rọ̀? Expect àwọn mo ní láti set camera mi, èmi ni mo ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ because I'm doing something behind the scene, so we're going to use more kẹ́ máa rí picture wa. So èmi ni mo ń ṣe nǹkan kan ọkùnrin ní nǹkan ṣe, I don't have to set the camera. So I'm actually working behind the laptop because àwọn ọmọ mi stream ní Ìlọrin, so mo monitor nǹkan kan tó ń ṣe lórí laptop. So there's nothing wrong with the camera. The camera is okay. So ìtòrí ẹ̀ ń ṣe ìdarapọ̀ mọ́ wa ni tẹ́ bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti beginning ẹ̀ rí pé wájú camera mo jókòó sí. Koikimedia ni wá, so but many ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ nífẹ̀ẹ́ Nigeria, but Nigeria fúnra rẹ̀ kò nífẹ̀ẹ́ yín. Nigeria fúnra rẹ̀ tẹ́yin nífẹ̀ẹ́ yẹn doesn't care about you as a person. Nigeria doesn't care who you are. Nigeria will never love us as people. Nigeria would not create the kind of enabling environment that we want. Why then are we trying to save this contraction? Why then are we trying to protect it? Who are we saving Nigeria for? Is it the politicians' children? Is it the Lebanese? Is it the Indian? The Pakistan? Àwọn wo gangan ni à ń tọ́jú Nigeria lẹ́fun so that they can come and have their say over us? So these are the the questions that many Nigerians failed to come and answer and tell us. But tá bá sọ̀rọ̀ lọ, tá bá sọ̀rọ̀ bọ̀, mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí èdè ní 11th ọjọ́ kan nínú history tí wọ́n ní gbàgbé. Ẹ rántí 9/11 tí àwọn terrorists tí wọ́n lọ blow America, even though as many conspiracies ti jáde lẹ́yìn yẹn, but we will just stick to the event of that year tí wọ́n lọ bọ́ǹbù àwọn twin tower, blow twin tower. Ó rà ń pọ́ ọmọ mi ti parí transmission tó ń ṣe. Okay, ṣì wà on. Or ṣì wà live. Àbí ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń sọ àbí kò yé wa? So ẹ má ẹ ká parọ́ fúnra wa. We know a lot of you love Nigeria. Kò ń ṣe pé love Nigeria for anything, you just love Nigeria because you love Nigeria, just like báwa náà ṣe love Nigeria nígbà kan. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ṣe love Nigeria nígbà kan, làwa náà love Nigeria. We love the footballer, we love the music, we love the food, we love to even travel within the Nigeria state. Ẹlòmíì ò tẹ̀ fi gbé ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, ó prefer north. Bí a torí ẹ rò pé area ó dàbí àwa táwọn gbé ní London náà ní England. Tí bá fẹ́ quiet life, tí mo fẹ́ the hustling and bustling, wàhálà London yìí ti pọ̀ jù, ó ti wà too stressful. I would travel to màá lọ gbé ní outside London. Outside London tí bá lọ gbé yẹn, àbọ̀rọ̀ mọ̀ yẹn nísìn, ó máa better fún mi torí pé outside London yẹn máa fún mi ní peace. Atẹ́gùn tó ń fẹ́ níbẹ̀ ó yàtọ̀ sí ti London. Ó dàbí ẹni tó ń gbé ní Èkó ni. Ṣé àwọn pààyàn tẹ́ ń gbé lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ nísìn, tẹ́ bá lọ sí ìlú, ẹ rí pé air, atẹ́gùn tó ń fẹ́, air tẹ́ ń breathe, ó wà fresher. Ẹ rí oúnjẹ gidi jẹ, ó máa wà fresh. The same thing náà ni. So this argument pé torí ẹ fẹ́ràn Nigeria, kò sẹ́ni tó ní kẹ́ má love Nigeria, kò sẹ́ni tó ní kẹ́ má fẹ́ràn Nigeria. Mo kí bàbá wa Ìdòwú Michael, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ti wọlé. Bí ẹ̀yin náà ṣe fẹ́ràn Nigeria, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni bàbá Akintoye at 88 nígbà táwọn ṣe senator ní the first republic or probably the second republic, ìyẹn Professor Banji Akintoye, ìfẹ́ tó ní sí Nigeria, mo rò páwa gan nífẹ̀ẹ́ yẹn tó bàbá Akintoye. Ìfẹ́ tó ní sí bàbá yẹn ti wá pé 88 years old nísìn. Ó wá ń jẹ́ ká mọ̀ pé Nigeria tá a nífẹ̀ẹ́ yẹn, that country that we love so much, the country that we want to appreciate, the country that we want to be celebrated around the world, the green, white, green, the national anthem, the who we are. But when we start breaking it down, bit by bit, we will now understand that that same country do not have the kind of love that we have for it. Because number one, it is because there's not a country. There was never a country. The foundation was faulty. Because if not, why would somebody want to steal $5 billion? I'm talking about the late former dictator, Sani Abacha. Why would he want to steal $5 billion out of a country that everybody is meant to love? He should have left the money in Nigeria. Maybe by now, in your state, you would have industry, you would have road network, you will be able to feed, you will be able to chop, you will be able to have electricity, just like I have it here as well. It is not free. I have to pay for it. The electricity running in this house has to be paid. Whatever I'm using, I have to pay for it. The gas, I have to pay for it. But the question is, for 63 years, we were all told to love our country, which spiritually, that is what they will tell you in the biblical, in the Islam, even in the tradition. But the reason why we do not love the country, every one of us, some of us love it, but Abacha never loved Nigeria. You know why? Because Abacha was removing money from the resources that was coming from another territory. Because the crude oil Abacha was selling was not from the north. The north did not have the crude oil. The crude oil, somebody says, I am now 49 years old. Still nothing has been done. 49 years old, and they don't have a future yet. So the question, we should be asking ourselves is that the country that we love so much, my team have completed, so I can switch to what I'm doing here, and then I can bring my audio from the Mix LR, and they can be able to listen to me. Muki Kenboa. Okay, let me do this way. Because let me mute my speaker again. Because so that Antoa Lori backup channel they can still see what I'm doing without missing anything. We're good to go. So at least I'm still live and they can still watch me. If you don't know my YouTube backup, Moki Mr. Fab, good morning, happy new week. Ajay. I know some of you are angry, you are upset, maybe because the way we present, the way we talk to you, we don't respect you like blah, blah, blah. But that is not the issue. The real issue, Moki Mr. Labi Samuel, good morning and good afternoon, good evening to as many of you. All hail our Biafra brothers and all hail Ambazonia, all hail the Scottish people, all hail the Welsh people, as many people that wants to leave their country and have their own independent country. There's nothing wrong in that. Nigeria is dead. There's no justice. There will never be justice because we have never won. Muki Mr. Olatunji, shout out to those of you on the MixLR. And once again, good morning. I picked up the paper this morning in this country. What am I expecting? I want to know that my government here is working for me. And I want to see the same thing happening in Nigeria. But like I said, Abacha took out $5 billion. This money was not from the northern part of Nigeria. The bulk of the money was from the sales of the crude oil. The bulk of the money Abacha stole, which is about $5 billion, was from the sales of the crude oil. Now, if Abacha was genuine, if Abacha was honest, all the technology that we are using today, we would have it in Nigeria, where we have Silicon Valley, where we have even our own satellite operating in the space, where we would have research center, where we would have better education. All these are the reason that we are asking that when we say we love Nigeria, do Abacha love Nigeria? Do Atiku, Abubakar, Bagudu, the former Kebbi State Governor, the current Minister of Budget and Planning, does he love Nigeria? Ijaya, I cite you. Does he love Nigeria the way we love Nigeria? Because he was part of the people that was siphoning money on behalf of Abacha. My question to those of us that are average people, we are average people in Nigeria. If you commit a crime in Nigeria, you will be dealt with. If a rich man commits crime in Nigeria, they will go scot-free. How many court cases is going on in Nigeria today that has become wishy-washy? Because you will realize that those court cases are not going to be honest. And they will drag and drag and drag and drag it until the court, even you, a lot of us have forgotten about some of the court cases. I'm talking about corruption cases. But the little one that they want to use to break bone, they will go after it. People like, Tani Olong, you can see the kind of, hypocrisy. You can see the kind of, game that they are playing. Once again, good morning, my brother. Shout out to those of you on all the platforms, and good morning. My name is Koikimedia. As we continue the Yoruba Nation campaign and awareness, which is the only way to live our life to have a better understanding, so that we can live the kind of life that I and the European countries and European citizens are living. Yes, if you want to travel to any other country, if we have a country that is working like Nigeria, we should not be able to go and apply for American visa, and it's going to take you 1 year and 2 months. When the American citizen can easily come to Nigeria because they are global, economy backbone. They have money, they have power, so their passport travels around the world. But my passport, which is the Nigerian passport, is not valid. But that is not the issue. The issue is about who we are. Who literally are we? Some of you that wants us to keep the entity, the brand. We don't have problem with Hausa people. We don't even have problem with Fulani people. Let them stay on their own. Let us stay on our own. Because I don't think the British government will allow a Fulani terrorist to live in this country. I don't think they will do so. The British government is not going to give room for the Hausa people to live in this country. They're never going to accept it. So, and again, the same thing goes with the Yoruba terrorists. Our boys, they are still serving their prison time. They actually killed a serving military guy in Woolwich. This happened some years back, probably about 7 years now. I can't remember. But then to case here, there were 2 Yorubas walked by Boboye near Woolwich because of the doctrine, Dongboni no message of Islam. They became a terrorist. Any country in a civilized society doesn't want a terrorist. So if I am a Yoruba man and I'm saying I want a Yoruba territory, does not mean that if we want to have a Fulani that wants to live with us, yes, there's no problem. But we must be able to know the kind of Fulani that is that person. I must be able to know the kind of Igbo that is living with me. I don't want a pedophile. I don't want somebody that is doing drugs. I don't want a Yoruba that is doing Yahoo Yahoo. Yes, I was watching most of it in international branding when it comes to what is happening. Do you know that there are so many sophisticated criminals around the world? I was watching Singapore. Singapore is the lowest crime in the world. But there are people that will take advantage of it even though it's still the lowest. They actually busted, I don't have another phone to go with. They actually busted the rings of criminals. They were living a big lifestyle. They have Rolls Royce. I'm sure some of you that must have come across the news. You can type it. Singapore, ni weekend ye. Singapore today does not want criminal, but criminal still wants to live there. Do you know that even while I was watching that documentary, Mumbo, the back end, you'll be able to see this. Singapore. Singapore today is a country that I would love to go and live. Lee Bridge, yeah. Lee Rigby was killed in 2013 in UK. Singapore has a population. Singapore, officially the Republic of Singapore, is an island country and a city-state in the maritime Southeast Asia. Let's look at some of their. All right, I can bring this close to me because it will allow me to monitor and continue. Good morning and once again, welcome. Singapore is 5.4 million, but criminals wants to go there and operate from there through cryptocurrency crime, through fraud. But something took place over the weekend in Singapore. Let's look at crime in Singapore. Crime rate in Singapore, plan B. There's no sound in the MixLR. How? Oh, okay, yeah, because your sound here, okay. All right, let's do it this way. Let me remove the sound and bring the sound officially through the mic. You should be able to hear me now. We're going to have a backup channel. Because actually, okay, let's do it this way. I can bring my camera in a little bit. Yeah, better this year, so that you are not missing anything. So everybody is okay now. Good morning once again. My name is Olami Koiki. I am your international media to educate you. We are not having issue with the present administration. All we are saying that we want our right to be respected. And that right does not mean that we hate the Hausa people. Does not mean that we hate everybody within the Nigeria of today. But what we are looking up to is for me to be recognized as a Yoruba identity outside, not as a Nigerian under Yoruba. Why should Nigeria overshadow the Yoruba of me? I want to be known just like the German, the French, the Italian, the Singaporeans. Let's go back again and read more from Singapore. And let's educate ourselves at exactly 9:15 a.m. It's the same time with Nigeria, the same time in UK. Good morning to those of you on our Twitter space, and a very good morning to as many of you that will be watching it later. Still no sound. Okay, I think I know why. I might have to, 1 minute. Let me bring the microphone on. Let me connect this. 1 minute. 1 minute. All right, let's see. The sound will come back now. Mic check, mic check. I might be no, because my people on the MixLR are saying that they can't get no sound. Why is my sound not working? Okay, I know why. 1 minute. Let's do it this way. Channel. Speaker. Number. That failed. Okay. 1 minute. Source. Why is it failing? There might be no. I have to deal with that because if not, the people cannot hear what I'm saying. That failed. All right. Why is it failing? Àwọn tó wà lórí YouTube máa gbọ́ mi náà, but àwọn tó wà lórí reload the device. That's strange. Number plan B. I'm working on the speaker. I need to sort this out. If no, we can't. Yeah, it should be on now. So check plan B. I can't read this. What's it called? The chart. But I know you guys are there and you can be able to hear me now. I'm talking to those on our MixLR. So let's go back again. I can see the green telling me that the speaker, my mic is on now. So that should be on now. Now let's go back to Singapore. The crime rate in Singapore are some of the lowest in the world. In the whole world. In the whole world. But there are still people that want, look, even if it is the lowest, people still want to commit crime. But it is the job of the government. Thank you so much, Plan B. Yeah, I know the sound is back now. No, I'm not. And you tell YouTube, you're on this, you're on the phone. Good morning, Just Reason. They want to make sure that crime is not permitted, is not allowed. The reason why terrorists is operating in Nigeria is because of so many reasons. Number one, evidence shows that they want to Islamize Nigeria. Are you going to sit back and say nothing because I love Nigeria so that they can? Do I want to be Islamized? I don't want to be Islamized. That is exactly what is playing out as well between the Yorubas in Ilorin, that they believe that Ilorin is an Islamic country. I don't even know where they get that ideology from. There must be crazy people there. What are going thinking that Ilorin is a Islamic state? That is the kind of doctrine that is being played in that messed up country. And we must not allow that. It does not matter whether you are from Ilorin. We as Yoruba people owns Ilorin. Kwara State belongs to Yoruba people. But they don't want to play that kind of game because they are part of the agenda. By the time they finish with Kwara, they will now be coming to Ogun State and probably dictate to me. Bomb bastard people. Let's come back again. Crime rate in Singapore are some of the lowest in the world, with petty crimes such as pickpocketing, street theft, rarely occurring. Bernie, Larry Lamina, crazy people. And violent crime being extremely rare. Penalties for drug offense such as trafficking in Singapore are severe and include death penalty. There's no joke about it. About to get drug, boom, you're dead. But there are some people that wants to take the drug there because there's also a market for it. In this world that we are living, if you remain in Nigeria, there will be market for people that will survive, and there will be market for people that is not going to survive. I don't want to be in that kind of society. Dash Mayor, a very good morning, and welcome to those of you that have joined us once again. You can ask your question. I will try to answer you. If you have any question, if you have any concern, I was following, and let me give you some of the concern that some people are saying. I was on Twitter this morning, and I happened to follow, Ifa Funshaw on Twitter, and she posted something that I'm going to read out. When people say, if you want Yoruba nation, that means South people that owns the crude oil, that the Yoruba people are controlling, we would probably lose it. Yes, we give it to you. We don't want it. We don't want your crude oil. But we will control our waterways in Apapa. Go and use your own as well. Does not mean that we cannot have cordial relationship with each other. Does not mean that we cannot trade. The UK have done more trade in this concluded G20. You can see that is Joe Biden and, our own Rishi Sunak. Rishi Sunak is an Indian born, but have lived all his life in UK, majority. Is now the prime minister of this country. First time in the history of UK. There might also be some reason for that, spiritually. But that is deep for people that can understand. I'm not going to go into that area. But today, let's go into it. Ukraine fury at the G20 soft diplomacy. The Ukraine government is not happy. It must not be happy because there was a soft consensus. It was ruthless. They were eventually able, and if you don't know, as of today, the UK warship has arrived in Nigeria to support maritime security. Did you hear that? If we own our waterways, if we want to have maritime security with the UK, it will be a Yoruba nation. But today, the same UK is saying, look, there's maritime problem. We don't want people to be disturbing us when we are moving crude oil. We don't want all these criminal to be disturbing us when we are moving our vital, important resources out of Nigeria. So you will always see them coming. But as I speak to you today, on the headline, the UK warship, Tofin Jaugun, has arrived in Nigeria. And the reason for that is to support the maritime security. My family is doing very well. Thank you very much for asking. Once again, I want to go back to Ifa Funshaw before I forget. We are still on Singapore. Singapore is a very, very important country with 5.5. They are not up to 6 million, but they are doing very well. They are well documented, but they have criminals that wants to live with them because we are living in a world where crime pays for some. Criminals that wants to live beyond their means. Criminals that wants to reap our life like Rahman Abbas, the fraudster Yoruba criminal that was duping people of their hard-earned money, is currently spending time in the prison, and he will use his full time. It's not like in UK, when you commit a crime, Ike Keremadu, if he's doing very well, he will only use half of his time in UK. But it will be here until Bola Tinubu finishes government. Ike Keremadu is going nowhere. He will live with me in this country. But the only problem is he will enjoy a better life still than you. Even Ike Keremadu, as he's in the prison, is going to live a better life than you as a citizen of Nigeria. Even though Ike Keremadu family are still enjoying the wealth that he has acquired from Nigeria as a politician that have run Nigeria for a very long time. And part of the reason that he was accused of a crime, if he was found not guilty, I would probably say he's not guilty. But Ike Keremadu he has been found guilty. He's a criminal because he wants to use money to sort out his daughter's health. Why many people in Nigeria cannot sort out their own health? You can see that they never loved Nigeria. The same thing with Akintoye. They are all the same. Akintoye spent 3 months in Germany. He has returned back. Are you aware that your SGF, the secretary to the federal government, is currently in hospital somewhere in Germany because he's not doing very well? There's no hospital in Nigeria that can treat him. They all run outside. These are the people that want me and you to love Nigeria, but they do not love the same Nigeria. Is that not something that you should talk about? Now, Edekawo, the reaction of people from the post of Ifa Funsho yesterday, there's about 26 comments, and I'll read all that comment. And these are some Nigerians, especially those that think that because Peter Obi was not a president, they are now putting their anger on the Yoruba people because Bola Tinubu is the president. Who cares? Peter Obi was never genuine from the day one. It was the same person just like the other politician. Peter Obi was stealing money he kept his money in the tax haven. It's there. Evidence is out there in the public domain. And Peter Obi doesn't want Nigeria to disorganize because he has a franchise of businesses operating in Nigeria. Peter Obi owns a big business in Nigeria, so he doesn't want Nigeria to go into anarchy so that it can continue. Whether Peter Obi wins or not, he's still a billionaire as at Nigeria. He can talk. It is called orator. Orator is people that can talk. They can convince you. If you like, go and listen to your church pastor giving you motivational talk. It is not going to fix the problem of Nigeria. Go and listen to your imam because I want anyone to go. All that is not going to make Nigeria to work. What is going to make Nigeria to work is a peaceful dissolution, and if it's not going to be peaceful, then it's going to be violent. But we don't want violence, we don't want anarchy, and that is why we are being under a strong leadership, a man that knows the way, and that is the one and only Professor Adebanji Stephen Akintoye, the oracle of Yoruba land. He is not the Yoruba leader in terms of the whole Yoruba. We have Afenifere, we still have our fathers, but all these fathers have believed that we can still fix Nigeria, while some of them want to restructure Nigeria. So we are not against Nigerians as a person, but Abacha was against you. If not, Abacha should not have moved 5 billion out of Nigeria economy. Do you know what 5 billion is? I don't think some of you understand this amount of money. Let me show you dollar. In case you've never seen dollar before, make I show you dollar. Because some of you will never see dollar until you die anyway, because you don't have any business with dollar. But some of us that knows what dollar is. This is the contraction money in Nigeria. And this is the dollar that Abacha took out of Nigeria. I am talking about 5 billion. Do you know what 5 billion would have done in terms of infrastructure, in terms of technology, in terms of education? Mukiyawa Biba Otojameta, shout out to you. Mukiyawa Baba Busari, Mr. Taiwo Olanrewaju, good morning. This is a Yoruba Nation campaign awareness that must never stop, to educate many Nigerians that we are not angry and upset with you. We are only talking about what Abacha did. Abacha never loved Nigeria. He would not have stashed money to the tune of $5 billion out of Nigeria economy. That crumbled Naira. If the 5 billion was injected in Nigeria, you and me today will be talking about as a millionaire in Naira. Some of you don't even have 1 million in your account. And to 1 million, was okay. Genuine 1 million. I'm not talking about ritual money now. I'm not talking about Yahoo money. I'm not talking about fraudulent money. I'm not talking about crime money. I'm talking about a strong, hard-working Yoruba woman, a strong, hard-working Igbo man, a strong, hard-working Hausa man that will have this kind of money without interference with the public money. Because a lot of you are rich with the public money. You are using the public money to enrich yourself. And that is why you don't want Nigeria to be dissolved. Especially some of you that work in the federal secretariat. Some of you are criminals from the state level, in Ondo State, in Imo State, in Kaduna State. You have enriched yourself that you don't even have the iota. You are selling the palliative in Nasarawa. How can the agency that is meant to give palliative to people that are hungry is selling the same palliative? And you want me to live in that kind of messed up, fraudulent country? Oh, no, it's not going to happen. Somebody say majority don't even have 50,000 in their account. And we report on social media, so we have to deal with them when they come in. And sort of giddy, Eleni, nobody is donating to Yoruba Nation. Again, eyes don't open. I don't live in Nigeria. I live in the UK. I am not an illegal immigrant. The least job I would do that they will employ me. Go and look at my video on Instagram. I will go to job center. I will say, I need a job. Mr. Koiki, what kind of job are you looking for? Any job that is cleaner, that can just pay me 1,300 every month. And after 20 years, I will be paid my pension. Bomb bastard. Your father was not paid a pension. Bàbá yín ò gba pension tó fi kú. Ìyá yín ò gba pension tó fi kú. Your parents died trying to get their genuine pension, and those pensions never came true. And some of you are here talking nonsense. We are here explaining to people why your life is bad. This one say people's eyes don't open. They are not paying for Yoruba Nation anymore. Can you see the brain in Nigeria? À ń sọ̀rọ̀ gidi níbí báyìí. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé our life is in danger. Abacha took 5 billion. This one they talk say, you can see and I'm sure that person is from Ibadan. They are the kind of people that tell you if you want to try, I don't know, but that's evidence out there. Ibadan people, not all of them are one of the fraudster travel agents. You got to be very careful. I'm sure that guy is a fraudster. Tobano travel, because they will send you to Sri Lanka and tell you can go from Sri Lanka to Germany. Bomb bastard. If you don't know anything about traveling, you can send me a message. At least I can still tell you, even though I'm not a travel agent. Ibadan people, I'm told that's part of their job. In terms of housing, they are fraudster. In terms of, sometimes we have to respond to the idiot. Because what does Yoruba Nation is not paying anymore? I don't live in Nigeria. It's going to be 25 years on the 20. I arrived in this country on the 21st of September, 1998. Bomb bastard. Let's come to Ifafunsho. So, Iwama Obadan to nsoro yen. Ori okwe dada. I'm sure we bad okwe dada. Ifafunsho wrote, and I said on Twitter yesterday, I am still a full supporter of Yoruba Nation. Only by Yoruba Nation, a Yoruba passport, not the Nigerian. I came with Nigerian passport to this country. But do you know that same Nigerian passport is as invalid that I cannot go to Dubai if I don't have a British passport? If you apply for a visa to Dubai from London, from UK, one money will only 10,000 pounds. Even if I have a resident, not everybody that lives in the United Kingdom has a British passport, but we still have the same right like the person that holds a British passport. The only difference, the person who gets British passport can travel faster than me, because with the British passport, they can go to many countries. They don't need a visa, at least many countries. But you, where you get resident permit, I'm not talking about you where they give visa. I was watching a video on one of my sisters here in UK on Instagram. One boy offered me 6-month visa. He came to London. He went to club. I told you, be careful in this country. Some of you will end up in prison like Ike Ikeremadu. Ike Ikeremadu is in prison because he was found guilty. Yes, he's an Igbo man, but we have a Yoruba man that is also committed a crime that is currently in America. I'm talking about Osh Poppy, Abbas Rahman. But all this means that as long as you remain Nigeria, some Nigerians will be committing crime. They'll be doing things that will affect you, especially if they were in Nigeria. it will not affect me much. The worst case scenario is I will wait for some of us that don't have British passport, and those of us that have British passport, we will wait. The one way don't get British passport, I will keep my British passport and I will use it to travel to any country I want to go. I don't have to be in Nigeria. I don't need Nigeria before I can survive. I can live in UK for the next 35 years as long as God gives me a good life. And a lot of you will die in Nigeria because according to the WHO, you are not likely to be 60 years old before you die in Nigeria. A South Korea will be 84 years old before they die. Let's look at what Ifa Funsho is saying again as we continue to educate some of you. Remember, Singapore is just 5 million people. My name is Koikimedia. I am your lecturer. This is the lecture room where you learn and you understand. Don't be stupid. Abacha is your problem. Tinubu is your problem. Tinubu promise is going to give you a better governance. Deal with it. I am not Tinubu. I am not your president. And I'm not your senator. Your senator are carrying women in different hotels, looking after them, buying iPhone. iPhone 15 is out already now, I believe. They buy iPhone 15. And you will be their boy, running up and down, looking for a better life. That better life is diminishing because your naira, as of today, is 1,165 naira to a pound today. It's about $900. Food price is not going to come down anytime soon. Make sure you get palliative from Bola Tinubu. Now, if Afunsho said again, I am still a full supporter of Yoruba nation. Only by Yoruba nation, a Yoruba passport will command value. Even if I decide, say, Biafra Day, good passport, I will go there. If we never get Yoruba country, I will go and live there because I know that their government will protect me, just like the British government is protecting me as I live in this country. It is the job of the British government to protect every one of us as long as you are not doing anything otherwise against the law. If I have to be in Nigeria and the Biafra nation is there, I will go and work there. I will do whatever they ask me to do. I will set up my media and I will go according to their law. And they will give me a resident permit after a certain time. UK do not just dash you permit. Even if you come here with visa, you will have to change that visa to live in this country. So I will apply for visa to go to Biafra nation. And after a while, I can marry their own woman and say, maybe that I will have to look at their immigration. Because everybody that wants to travel, you must go and study immigration and see which country you want to go. Because if you go to places like Turkey, you will only be able to renew. You might not be able to get a full passport if you don't marry their citizen. And if you marry their citizen, it takes a while before you get their passport. Okay? You will only be given some kind of leverage to live there. The same thing. I hope that Bola Tinubu, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as he has touched down to Dubai, or Abu Dhabi rather, because this Emirate, I hope he start talking to them so that they can give Nigerians opportunity to live there. And the one way commit crime, na Iboni, na Hausani, Yorubani, deport them. Put them out of the plane and get them back to Nigeria as quickly as possible so that they could not mess up the remaining Nigerians that are there. Nigerians are traveling around the world, and that is why people marry some Oyibo people, so that they can have resident permit. So don't think that with your visa, you are allowed to work when you travel, especially to UK. You will not be able to work. But what about if we have a Yoruba nation? We can then start talking to UK government. The Nigerian government is not talking to the UK for 63 years. Rather, they keep sucking out of us. Sucking. And that is why some of you are living below abject poverty. According to the United Nations, a lot of you do not have $2 today to feed yourself. You do not have. Mr. Clement, good morning and welcome once again. This is a lecture room. You have the right to ask a question. If nothing is understandable, but don't be stupid, because when you go to your lecture and your lecturer is talking to you, you don't abuse your lecturer. You just say, excuse me, sir, that's Yoruba nation. Are you sure it can be possible? And what are the chances that when it is possible, that Koiki will not be a criminal when we get there? And they will explain to you. Don't be gullible. You come on the platform. This is not where the Yoruba actress. Did you see it? I've seen it. If you want to go and see that, go on Twitter, where she was doing chiki and she uploaded herself, according to what we are told. This is not a platform, okay? This is not Gist Lover. This is not Tunde Ednot. This is not Linda Ikeji. This is a self-determination media that wants the right of the Yoruba people, the Biafra people, the Arewa people, the Scottish people, the Welsh people, the people that want the right, including Ambazonia. And we will educate and educate and educate as many of you until you get fed up of Nigeria, because Bola Tinubu will expire in 2027, his first tenure, not him entirely. We pray for him to live longer, but his first tenure complete in 2027. And some of you will have to out again. The same way you did for Buhari. After change, next level. The people will do next level now. Some of them don't japa. Let's continue. They are no Nigerians. Jonathan told us that they are no Nigerians. Nigeria, there's nothing called Nigerians. We are indigenous people. It was the Oyibo people that drafted it and changed everything, and today we are called Nigerians. Oh yes, we are still Nigerians because Nigeria is still working as a country today, but it must dissolve so that you can have a better life. But the argument that I want us to come out from this is some of the people that responded to Ifa Funsho. You don't have to believe in anybody. You don't even have to. Do you believe in your government? So why must you believe in me? If you believe in your government, say yes. If you believe in Bola Tinubu government, put it here and say yes. And that is your fundamental right. So if you don't believe in what we are saying, one day it will become more clearer. Because Bola Tinubu is not an emperor. Bola Tinubu is not a king like all our Yoruba king. He only has maximum 8 years. Well, be Bola Tinubu third term, just like Obasanjo wanted to do. Obasanjo tried it, they pushed him away. And this is the reason why we are saying we are not fighting you. You should go and fight your politician. But come here and listen and learn about the way and how we should leave Nigeria. We don't have to kill each other. It can be done through referendum, and it can be done through what they call velvet divorce. If you don't know the meaning of velvet divorce, it has been done before like that. Velvet divorce means that everybody departs, and then we will start thinking about how we can work to push the future. Let's continue. They are no Nigerians, only ethnic groups with different culture, languages that was joined as Nigeria. This is now the response of some people. According to Osagede Benga, the Yoruba and the Benin Empire has been existing over 1000 BC. Britain came into existence in 927 AD. We had a system of government, civilization, education system, culture, and trade. The Yoruba people have been trading with the European for more than years. We are the civilized people, but they have now changed everything. Oh, we are not civilized. It's because we are poor. We are the civilized people. Ijebu has been existing 500 years before 15th century. 500 years. Ijebu. The Ijebu War is better than the Beijing War in China. Ijebu War. That war at Ogiriye, the war is much better. But because we are not a country that love and appreciate how to maintain history and put it in a way that people can come there, who's going to go to Ijebu when there's crime? Apart from people that go through Ojudeoba, and after Ojudeoba, most of them go back to their different places. They can't live in Ijebu because the water coming out of there will kill you in cholera. Most people that owns wealth that came from Ijebu, no, they don't live there. They live in Lagos. They live in Ibro area, outside even Ijebu. Some of them even live in Abeokuta. How can you own a house in Ijebu and you are living in Abeokuta? No be juju be that. Now, let's go further. We ran to England, who just came to existence, just like I ran to this country 25 years ago, because this is where I believe the future is. But it's a lie. The future is in our territory. Let's go to the next person. According to this one, Ama Adio. I hope, say inside that Yoruba nation, where una dey clamor for another Yoruba nation self dey inside. Last, all of our eyes go clear. These are people with less understanding. Did you hear the question? That Yoruba nation, there will also be another Yoruba nation. No be one Yoruba people will be. At least let us first come out of Nigeria and let us deal with that one later. Just as UK was part of the European Union. They were part of the people that formed the EU, but they pull out because of their own selfish reason. So all these arguments of Yoruba will still come out of another Yoruba nation. Let us first come out of the fraudulent country called Nigeria. That's number one. Again, this one is Babajide Ibiayo. I get your stand and I have the Labour Party dream of Yoruba nation. It will happen when we are good and ready, when we are prepared and strong. Mark my word, for now, let's make the best of Nigeria and prove to the world and Nigerians that we have what it takes to build a prosperous nation. This one is trying to build a prosperous nation, and Abacha took out 5 billion. Bagudu was stealing money on behalf of Abacha. Ike Keremadu wanted to come and fix his daughter's health in London. Akeredolu went to Germany for treatment. The SGF. So when they're saying that this is the argument of layman people on Twitter, that they fight themselves. Hey, fight yourself. Yeah, fight yourself. Go and abuse Koikimedia. Go and abuse Simon Ekpa. Go and abuse Yoruba World Media. Go and abuse Abubakar. Go and abuse those that are talking for freedom. But the real politicians, you can see Akpabio say, money has been sent to your account to make you go on holiday. Some of you will never travel on even a single journey within Nigeria. They're not born you well. Travel from your state, go another state. You know you can't. If terrorists don't kill you, you are likely to die along the motorway of Nigeria. It is a trap. They refuse to fix it. The rich don't travel. Femi Kanekawede is not going to travel on the road from Abuja to Lagos. It will go on air. So this one say, I get your standing. I have the Labour Party dream. Which Labour Party? The fraudulent Labour Party. The fraudulent Labour Party of Peter Obi. That we should go and build, because that is what the churches are telling them. Go and listen to all your churches. Go and listen to them. Their sermon. I was listening to another one. He said, when you fight, you now leave the fight to God. Which God? Which God you want to leave the fight for? Which God? Which God? Rishi Sunak doesn't do the right thing. We will bring him out. We will ask him questions. The NUC, the National Union, the National Union Congress here, UK. Let me get it right. NUC, they're having their conference today. And me and my wife, when we were listening to it in the morning on the BBC, I was laughing. Do you know that Mumbo, trade union? Let me put trade union. They're having their annual conference, trade union, in Liverpool. And you know what is going to happen? The government is trying to make sure that if you go on protest, you are likely to lose your job. Now, let me read it to you. From Liverpool call center to the biggest union job in the country, TUC is what I'm looking for, not NUC. TUC to report government to United Nations watchdog over controversial strike bill. What does that mean? As a teacher, as somebody that works in the railway, as somebody that works in the medical line, if you go on strike, you will lose your job in UK. We have a union that says, no way, which is Sunak Otobe. We are going to take you to United Nations watchdog. Let me read that quickly to you. All your NLC, what have they done? They've all compromised because they are part of the government. The TUC argues that the government new strike legislation is in breach of international law and will escalate industrial tension rather than resolve them. Releasing Nnamdi Kanu, court say make the release them. DSS become the empire. Is that a country? And you want the Igbo people to remain in Nigeria? Oh, you don't like them? Then let them go. Do a referendum and let them go. And some of us, Yoruba people, will go and be operating from there until we dissolve Nigeria. I would rather go and live in a Biafra nation than live in Nigeria. If Biafra goes today, that I know that they go today, and I can confirm it, I will buy a ticket and go and live there, and I will be operating from there. Because I know that they will value what Benin Republic has valued by giving Igbo opportunity to live there. Some of you thought they were going to kill him. And let's listen. But 1 minute. I need to.
Union Congress, TUC, is reporting the government to the UN Workers' Rights Watchdog over its controversial strikes bill. General Secretary Paul Noack said the union will be lodging a case at the International Labour Organization, ILO, because the legislation, which will enforce minimum service levels during strike action, falls far short of international legal standards. Making the announcement on the opening day of the TUC Congress in Liverpool, Mr. Noack said, the ILO has already slapped the UK government and ordered it to make sure existing and prospective legislation is in line with ILO standards. We believe the Strikes Act falls way short of that. And that's why we have submitted a case to the ILO over these laws. Politics Live, Rory Stewart compares running government to fish and chip shop. The government took forward the strikes, minimum service levels, bill following a year of unprecedented industrial action.
Let's leave that. Our focus is Yoruba Nation. I just brought that in. I'm still going back to Singapore. I have just less than half an hour before our morning broadcast will finish. This one be King Day Warlocks of Jesus or Jesus. Nigeria, Papa, Yoruba, united we stand, divided we fall. Did you hear all this nonsense? United we stand. United you stand, but politicians are not standing with you, Omugo. You are saying that united we stand, but politicians are not standing with you. What? No be juju be that. We want to stand with Nigeria, but our politicians are not standing with us. Dissolve it. This one is Jimo Rauf Akoni. Nigeria is affecting the greatness of Yoruba. We need to move out of this country. Chidi Obidi, I agree with you. Funsho, Olakpade Otedubi, different mindset, cultures, and language. Temple Ihaki, I am with you 100%. When we there start, I can't wait to see hashtag Biafra exit come true at Biafra tweet, the rising sun. I would rather go and live in a Biafra nation than live in Nigeria. If Biafra declare today and they have the government, I will move to Biafra and be operating until we dissolve Nigeria and Yoruba people will go. Shout out to one of you and every single one of you that is with me this morning. Once again, my name is Olami Koiki. I think somebody is sending a request on the Twitter space. Let me allow that person to speak just for less than a minute so that we can continue our presentation. Go ahead, Peace, Faith. Let me hear from you. Go ahead quickly, please. One more time, Peace, Faith. If not, I'm going to continue the program. Go ahead. And if you want to join me as well on the...
Good morning.
Yeah, go ahead. 2 minutes, please. Go ahead. I'll stop you after 2-3 minutes. Go ahead. Go ahead, ma.
Yeah. You're talking about Biafra nation and Yoruba nation.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So long as the way Nigeria is going, it's not going the right point, it's not going the right direction, it's not helping the citizen. I support.
Okay.
Let's split the country.
Okay.
Let's split it. It will be more better. Everyone manage their resources. Since they don't want to help the innocent Nigerians, the poor Nigerians, no one is being helped. Instead, they are looting the money to themselves. They're blaming the young Nigerians that are working hard.
Very hardworking. Very, very hardworking. Very intelligent Igbo people, Yoruba people, very hardworking Hausa people. But the country Nigeria is holding us back. Go ahead, my sister. I'm enjoying your conversation, man.
Yes. So, because looking at all those things, who is the criminal? I keep asking this question. Who are the criminals in Nigeria?
Oh.
Who are the criminals?
They're blaming
because they push the blame to young Nigerians that are hustling. Don't get me wrong, I'm not supporting Yahoo.
Oh, yes, we must not support crime. My sister, I say Singapore is the lowest crime in the world, but people still they commit crime there. So even if we have a Nigeria that was working and there is crime, that crime must be dealt with. Go ahead.
A situation whereby a leader in Nigeria will loot as much as he can, then take it to a foreign country, and in that same foreign country, they will borrow Nigerians the same money that came from Nigeria. They will borrow Nigeria, and Nigeria will continue to service the debt. Who are the criminals? Who are the criminals? They should stop blaming Nigerian youth, searching them on the street. Anyone with high phone, they would be searching them. Anyone carrying a very good phone, they will be searching them, harassing them. But they are not harassing the leaders. They are not harassing people stealing with pen. They are not harassing. Sometimes I just blame these people, these robbers. If they can just find a way, devise a means, find a way, go to those leaders' house. It will be more better than to go to people that hardly feed, than to go to their houses. They should better go to those leaders' house.
Okay.
As I say, I stand. If Yoruba they are leaving the nation, I stand. They want to have their nation, I stand. If people want to have their nation, I stand, because the way Nigeria is going, nothing is working. Nothing is working.
And it's never going to work.
When they say, I'm coming, sir. When they say right now Nigeria is not 37 states, it's no longer 36 states any longer. It's not 37 states.
It's a fraud.
They say Abuja is not a state, but it's a territory. And it's a territory, and the president is the one that is governing Abuja. But they not say in the court that it doesn't matter. So they are trying to say that you people are free, go and commit crime, and we are committing. That is it. That is the narrative. That is the narrative they are pushing to Nigerians, that you are free, go and commit crime as we are committing it. Break it. They make the rules and they break it. Instead, they will arrange a rules that will continue to impoverish the poor citizens, the innocent citizens. Then they will make the rules that will help themselves, that will allow them to steal, that will allow them to massacre the people and impoverish them. Wicked Nigerian leaders.
Very wicked.
Heartless people.
Very wicked.
Wicked people. People will not act.
Do you know what even amazed me, my sister, is that when you see people coming online and say, I'm sick, I need 5 million. And I'm thinking, how much is 5 million in a country that can treat you up to the value of 100 million? And the innocent Nigerians, out of their hard-earned money, will now have to start donating £10 here, 100,000 here, and people are, even those in Nigeria with their little, Nigerians will still donate, but the diaspora always push them more. And when we now see some celebrity wants to take advantage, how can a country be there and people are sick and they have to come on social media for begging to go? I mean, it's crazy.
Nigerians are not the one. Nigerian citizens, innocent Nigerian citizens are not the one helping the fellow Nigerians. See them on the street trying to donate money to help another Nigerians. While the leader, they sit upon the money, they sit on top of the money and do whatsoever
in
they
billions,
want to do with it.
In billions.
And as much as they want.
In billions. In billions.
Imagine there is no health care in the country. A little young girl was shot by police. A young girl, not even up to 15 years, was shot by police for no reason. They said it's a mistake. And they took the guy from one hospital to the other. They did not even answer. They did not answer this child. They checked to this hospital. They said they should go and bring police report. Another hospital, first of all, treat this child first. They refused. At the end of it, the child died.
Jeez.
The child died. Wicked leaders in Nigeria. Wicked leaders. Police will commit atrocity. Nothing is done about it.
The injustice is not for us alone. No. Even in the north, we are concerned. I mean, Nnamdi Kanu at some point was out on the Nigerian High Commission, protesting against the injustice in the northern part of Nigeria. So people think because we are asking for Yoruba Nation and Biafra,
of Nigeria right now, people, when they want to go to their farm to go and get their farm produce, they have to bribe. They are paying levy. They are paying levy to the terrorists. That is why we are still able to have food. Because they are paying levy. They don't want them to attack their farm and their farm produce. Maybe because we don't want to pay levy. So we became, a target. Okay, my brother. How many of the leaders have ever addressed it and do something about it?
Never. They will never. Never.
But according to my Cameroonian people, he said they shook him. They are shooking their mouth in another territory in another country that are working hard to make to fix their country, to make the colonial master get out of their country so they can use
the problem with Nigeria, they never fix that. They want to go and fix the problem with Nigeria.
In their country, they are not addressing it.
All right, thank you so much, my sister, because we are really out of time now. I really appreciate that. Was a great input. If anybody wants to come on the TikTok, I'll probably give 2. We can't take calls because we are using the phone for streaming as well. Let me finally go back to, there was a particular tweet, the comment under that tweet. I've not seen that already. Everybody just they play with the Bobby of this Yoruba actress where video. This one put the Bobby for mouth. People don't good though. This one put the Bobby. He say Yoruba na the Bobby. the man are Igbo. I don't know whether the man was Igbo, but whatever it is, you know. This one say, oh yeah, travel with Yoruba passport now. Make we hear what I beg. This one is Olalade, and I'm sure she suffer. I'm sure they're abusing her, a Yoruba woman or Yoruba girl. She said, oh yeah, now. Yeah, well, I mean, we don't have the passport here. So why, you can see the stupid thinking. We don't have the passport. So why is it, I know say men go like that, or, you know, the Yoruba, say Yoruba ni woman, and say people I don't understand why this one put the picture of the Bobby there, you know, inside the Bobby, you know, I can't show you because, you know, if I turn the camera, it will show you some other things behind. But the Bobby, he write Yoruba, the man, he put Igbo. So they can't put the man, you know, it's crazy. This was, oh yeah, travel now. I mean, we don't have the passport yet, but eventually, we're going to have the passport. 1 minute. Hello. Program. All right. I love about, you know, Nigerians are they are very, very creative people, you know. That's why I say that country, yeah. So this is what they do. They forget about their sorrow. Yeah, we look at the way we don't forget the sorrow now. You know, put the Bobby, put Yoruba there, put it Igbo mouth. Now the Igbo, they suck the Bobby. This one says, so exactly what are you waiting for? Well, we must continue our campaign. This one says, you want a Yoruba nation because of Lagos. Lagos thrives because of the export of oil from the south and the import of commodity through a port. There will be no import if oil is not exported. This is the best time to fight for Yoruba nation. Stop your paralytic sidelining. My condolences to the South. This one say, your problem, these are response from Ifafun Show. This one is Jelili Busari, another Yoruba man. Your problem is more than you do. Your problem is much than you. Do you know a country which have not different ethnic groups with different culture? Your hate against Nigeria make you ignorant. Many people don't know the meaning of Nigeria. So say the hate way somebody hate Nigeria. And that's why they come online with their gullible, you know, message. This one is third. Project Yoruba culture and not Yoruba nation. You know we can't secede. Well, we will wait and see. Time will tell. Yoruba nation wants to reap where it did not sow. This one is Eze Agada. Yoruba nation wants to reap where it did not sow. Until you guys fight war, then the northerners rape your sister, marry them off. The easterners run a food blockade against your father and mother. You are never serious at all. You and your Yoruba agenda is a lame. These are all the, you know, messages under that particular tweet. You can see that we are so divided. But the politicians are so excited because this is exactly what they want. Fighting now, fight. You go there and tell them, no, if I sure you are wrong. How can you say we should go? No, we are not going anywhere. Go and attack her. Go on our page. Attack her. Comment there. And eventually, you can read that it is not just the Igbos that hate Yoruba nation. They are Yorubas that hate Yoruba nation. And they're boku. And their ignorance is because they've been told to love Nigeria. They've been told to love Nigeria by the colonial that took us as slaves. Now, let's go back to the final part before I bring the program to an end, which I started with Singapore. I will not sorrow Nibibai. I will not say something without bringing fact and evidence. I told you that over the weekend, there was raid in Singapore. We have known that Singapore has less than 6 million people. Very, very nice place to live. But people want to... Do you know that after that raid, people that were living in some eyebrow area, they were saying that they are not allowed to live there because they are not Singaporeans. I didn't know that you cannot just go and buy houses in some places in Singapore. But these individuals, they've linked them back to Chinese, but they are using a different fraudulent passport. Let me read it according to BBC. Cash, cars, homes seized in 735 million Singapore anti-money laundering raid. Singapore police have seized about $1 billion, including luxury homes, cars, watches, in one of his biggest anti-money laundering probes. Gold bars, designer handbags, wine, and a $23 million in cash were among the items seized in the raid. Police arrested 10 people in the operation, all of whom had foreign passports. They're not in Nigeria, but they be criminal Chinese. But they've changed their passport. They have a different passport that they're operating with. It added that 94 properties, including houses, in some of the country's most sought-after areas were seized along with 50 vehicles. 10 people aged between 31 and 44 were arrested for alleged money laundering and forgery offenses. Police said that those arrested had the passport from China, Cambodia, Turkey, and Vanuatu. The group was suspected to be involved in the laundering the proceeds of crime from their overseas organized crime activities. So some of their crimes will be in Nigeria, because when they are mining, it is the cheap people that they will use to mine, and the big guys will sell the, whatever the resources, and they are living a big lifestyle with Rolls Royce, child, men, women, girls, live life. The same thing that is happening in Nigeria and most African countries as well. Anyway, the group was suspected to be involved in the laundering of the proceeds of the crime from overseas. Louis Vuitton bag, name them. We have zero tolerance for the use of Singapore as a safe haven. Do you know what is safe haven? People will steal money. They'll go to safe haven, keep the money there so that nobody knows the money is there. Peter Obi money was found in the tax haven. That same Peter Obi where they mention as if he's a saint, his money was found in the tax haven. They're every one of them, so that they do not have enough tax on the money, even though the money was from the wealth of the country in the first place. Our message to this criminal is simple. If we catch you, we will arrest you. If we find you, your ill-gotten gains will be seized then. We will deal with you to the fullest extent of the law. This should have been happening in Nigeria. Do you know that even Ike Keremadu, the EFCC confiscated some of his properties in Dubai and Nigeria? Maybe because it's not at home. Maybe if Atiku had become president, they will have kept it for him. All these and so many. So, like I said, before we finally come to the final part of this program this morning, our lecture. Nigerians love Nigeria, but your politicians hate you so much that they are not going to invest to keep your life better. They will tell you there will be a good Nigeria, a working Nigeria, a best Nigeria, but eventually everybody knows. Like I always say, we are not against Nigerians. We are against this fraudulent foundation that was put together that forced us to live together when we should not live together. I don't want to live in that society anymore. I would rather want to go back to where we are, even if we're going to be poor, than living in Nigeria where our lives does not matter to them. And on that note, I say good morning. All hail the Ambazonia, all hail the Scottish people, the Welsh people, the Yoruba people, the Biafra people, the Arewa people, all the freedom lovers. You don't have to agree with our message, but we will continue to monitor the economy of Nigeria that Bola Tinubu is trying to bring back. Nigeria is the Titanic that has sunk, and it is never, never going to come back up. Thank you so much, Mr. Adewumi Adenipekun. Thank you so much, Prince Adebayo Shitu. Thank you so much, Adekunle Ramon. Sorry to those of you on our MixLR. We keep bouncing back with the audio. I'll try and adjust that before I go on the Star Radio. I'll be coming out again just as we go into our first day with the Star Radio UK morning show. Thank you so much to our mother, our auntie that just spoke to us, Mrs. Esther Azo Adeleke Abubakar. I don't hate Hausa people. We love you. We have trade in Granite. We have trade in the past. You can have your own system, and I can still come and do Granite business with you if that is the only way we can get it, and I'll export it out. But I don't want to live in a society where Zamfara gold belongs to Zamfara. But my own money from the port is circulated under the federal money that is paid every month. Your country failed to work because there's no governance at the bottom. Julia Tosin, good morning. Oyelola Muki, Mr. Wahab. Good morning to every one of you across the 36 states, including the new state, the FCT. We are waiting. Those of you that love Bola Tinubu, it's your right to love him. But Bola Tinubu only has 4 years to fix Nigeria. He will have another 4 years. That is if the opposition, Mukinya Shatishe Ekaboma, if he wins, Adebanjo Sunday, shout out to you. If he doesn't win, the next political party will take. And the way things are, I know that the Labour Party wants to go and regroup. They are very bitter. They are angry. You will never bring Peter Obi in. Not that I support Bola Tinubu, but Bola Tinubu will do everything to make sure he remains in power. That is what power is all about. It is called intoxication. Peter Obi, you are too late. You have to go and wait. Shegun, good morning to you. Aziz, shout out to you all the way in Miami. Ijaya, love you all. And on that note, this is how far I can go. My name is Olami Koiki. Everybody calls me Koikimedia, the most important journalist. That journalist, where they go out without his press card, because anytime there can be any incident in UK, and I am your only international journalist. Okay, I go with it every day, because if there's a crime here, I will be the only person, apart from other journalists, that will be given access to go and check what is going on. Other people will be told to go back. The police have no right to stop me as long as I put out this. Okay? So you have a good media that is sound, well educated, and is still learning, because you never stop learning. I learn from you, you must learn from me as well. I am not your V-blogger. I am not your ordinary blogger. These expire next in 2024. When this expire, I will renew it again. It goes through rigorous check. All these has a meaning, the barcode. And even if the police wants to doubt it, I have a 4 unique code. They will call the agency and they will ask them to ask me for my unique code. If you steal it, you cannot use it. This is not like Nigeria, okay? Like I said, I am Koikimedia, bringing the world closer. And as I have my own there, I also carry my own Koikimedia. You see, it's press. It's called press. I am not your Kabu media. We are getting there. It's just a matter of time. So let me go and prepare for Star Radio UK. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, Ààrẹ Ahmed Bola Tinubu kò fi sún ìran Yorùbá, kò sí fún ìran Yorùbá. Yeah. My sister Àṣàkẹ́ Àṣàtìṣe ilẹ̀ Yorùbá sọ pé Ààrẹ Ahmed Bola Tinubu kò sí fún ìran Yorùbá. That means that it's not for Yoruba people as his own that want Yoruba nation. Some of you say, we're just talking. He might have a change of mind and heart. I don't know how to argue with you. Those of you that are going to work, and if you don't have a job in Nigeria, go and ask your government. I am not your government. I am not the one that told you not to have a job. You don't have to have a job, but you could be self-employed. Shout out to all the freedom fighters around the world. Have a very good morning. Shout out to my wives, my children, and most important, my beautiful mom. Igbowo Osha, Imole Yoruba, Baba Akintoye, respect, and Dr. Kebiorun Kosi, Shibanja Iloge, Simon Ekpa, I salute you, sir. The president, or no, the prime minister government in exile. Thus, you better go and line up behind it. All Biafra are on the right track, the autopilot. You don't like the autopilot? You sold Nnamdi Kanu out, the doors. And like I said, we had meeting with Nnamdi Kanu. That message, he said, if Nnamdi Kanu comes out and say, Koiki, that has changed, I would accept it. But for now, what deliver between us and Nnamdi Kanu, I don't care, because Nnamdi Kanu is still in the custody. I cannot take order from all your criminal lawyers and DSS. So Nnamdi Kanu must hold another meeting with me and Igbowo and Simon Ekpa. And he must now come and say, Koikio, Simon Ekpa is no longer, but for now, Simon Ekpa remains your official prime minister government in exile. You don't have to like that. The meeting was not once, it was not twice, it was not 3 times. I facilitated the meeting because Nnamdi Kanu requested for it. You don't have to know what transpired in that meeting. It's for the big boys like myself and Simon Ekpa. He never even mentioned DOS throughout the meeting. The meeting lasted for more than an hour, in case you want to have an idea. So you can see the kind of length conversation we had inside. Especially these Biafra people with the under DOS. Go and kill. Have a very good morning. Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Join me at 11 o'clock on the Star Radio UK. We're not going to stream on Koikimedia. Etinoti, Ori, WD76 Media. We encourage you to support it, follow it, so that it can grow, just like we have grown Koikimedia, so that we can have 2 strong channels. We have 42,000 subscribers on Koikimedia, and we have less than 1,000 on WD76. It doesn't add up, right? I know that. So, Teba, my channel here. You go on my community, I will post it there, click on it, follow it. And you know, it doesn't cost you anything, Abi. This is my first drink, Malta Guinness, non-alcohol.